You're listening to Literally First Class, the podcast for female founders behind multi-million-dollar brands and businesses. I'm your host, Carrie Ford, creative director turned 3-time award-winning coach, real estate investor, mom, and the one-on-one private advisor for multi-7- and 8-figure firms. If you're ready to make your next million, expand your impact, and lead with even more confidence, you're in the right place. Let's take your life and business first class. Can you feel the rearranging? The power of energetic decision trumps everything. The minute you make a decision that is energetically so in tune, down to I envision this gold thread, so specific and so micro and yet so macro as a result of that one thing, everything will rearrange to meet that frequency and to make that happen if you let it. This is where most people lose their balance, truly, because you think that while things are rearranging, in fact, to meet the decision that you have made, to align to that, there's a clearing that happens, and in the rearranging, stuff leaves. And so in that place, most people lose their footing because they're like, oh no, I may have made the wrong decision. I think I messed up. Fuck, what did I do? And in fact, that is a necessary clearing. So I want to share with you, in less than 6 weeks ago, I made such a powerful, energetic choice. I didn't know exactly what I was manifesting on the back end of that yet, but what I do know is that I said that I declared what I wanted and I declared what I didn't want. And I got really crystal clear on how I want to live my life and the business that I get to create as a result of that. And I wrote a post about this, and I'll read it to you. It was on September 12th. Just 2 weeks ago, I was shouting in the car, if this is what it requires, then I don't want it. It being self-betrayal, people-pleasing, or settling in any capacity. I then proceeded to shout what I did want the entire way to the gym, declaring it loudly and clearly. I told God that if anything in my current world and reality is not this new vision, that I have been shown to take it from me. I said, take it all from me, you've given me the vision. Take it all from me, you've given me the faith. Take it all from me, you've given me the experience. But then I said something else that took me a long time to say. And I said, and whatever happens after you take it, I can handle it. The level of resiliency and the 1,000 deaths that I have had to go through to arrive here is humbling. I think this is why we pray on our knees, because God brings us to them, knowing we will meet Him there. I am in massive gratitude for all of the hard lessons, heartbreaking seasons, and grieving of former identities, all while I planted seeds and watered dirt. When you realize that nothing can actually be taken from you because it has never been yours to begin with, only then can you build a business with God. So repeat after me. If it's not in alignment to my highest calling, take it because I can handle it. Be so rooted in yourself that nothing can distract you from the one thing that you've been gifted. Vision. It's time to go all in and all out. And that was the post that I wrote. And going back over it, even right now, I can feel it in my body. I can feel the truth. I can feel the singular decision that I made, which was I think trying to build a business in a way that, everyone gets caught up in this, I think, in a way that you feel like you should, or in a way that most people scale, or what casting a wider net really looks like with other people, but maybe it's not actually aligned to you. And the only way we really find that out is after a lot of experimentation and a lot of discovery, right? It's a constant whittling away. It's a constant unbecoming to become. And so as I look back at these declarations and how specific they were, I knew what I was talking about. I knew where I was headed with this. And I had a vision. Like God gave me this vision. And I've used meditation. I've often talked about how I treat the singular picture in my mind, or even like a movie, it plays out. And sometimes it'll loop. Like I'll see the same 10-second clip play over and over and over in my head as if I have been there before. I've done this with speaking on stages. I've done this with leading retreats. I've done it with running more retreats. I've done it with a champagne club. I just see it. And it's not me trying or forcing it. I literally ask the question when I go into a meditation, not more than 20 or 30 minutes, by the way. I'm not meditating for hours and hours. I'll ask the question, or I'll ask the, specific request, like, can you show me what this looks like? Can you show me what I'm not seeing? Give me a visual, and then I will glean all the details from it. Who am I seeing? Who's there? Oh, wow, like so-and-so's there. And I've actually had what we call divine selection from this process. There was a meditation. I promise I'm going to go back to my other point too, but this is an important tangent. I had a program that I was retiring, and I was talking to a colleague of mine in the space, and they had sold their program instead of just retiring it. All the IP, all the stuff, they built in mentorship and a rev share kickback contractually. So I thought, oh, well, that's interesting because this is a great program. I've already done all the IP. Whoever I sell this to could actually even absorb the 2 master coaches that come with the program. So I meditate and I ask, who is the person that is meant to receive this? I come up with one person, one name. I know this person. I've known them for a long time. I send them a text after my meditation. I said, this might sound crazy, but I asked the question, who is meant to carry on this particular program? And your name kept coming up and I kept seeing your face. And I want to share with you like what that was in relationship to, and that I'm selling this program, and it's become clear to me that this is a vision that gets to live out beyond me. It gets to be passed on to other people that want to run it. And she was like, yeah, I'm interested. Well, fast forward, a couple months later, we closed that deal. She bought the IP. I supported her for a year of mentorship. As a result of buying that program, I helped her run it. She sold it. I mean, she made the most money she ever made in a day as a result of that program and the coaching that we did together. I think $8,000 cash in a day. And she had never run like an online program because she had a brick and mortar. So we created a whole new revenue stream. And she had like I might get this wrong, but I believe it was a 225% increase in her regular rate. I could be wrong on that one. I'd have to go back through my notes, but it was incredible. All from a meditation, and that's called divine selection. So when you meditate and you ask the question, like, who is this program for? Or like, who am I meant to work with? Or who am I meant to partner with? And there is someone that comes to mind, that is really important information out in the quantum field. But if you treat it as truth, you can literally manifest it and close gaps so fast. And so I continue to use this and to harness that practice, and it is amazing. So I've built retreats off this. We had 45 women come through the Champagne Club this year alone. And that was from a singular conversation with a client that told me I should do this. And in 5 weeks, we sold out the first room. So, and I just continue to play it out in my mind. The other one that I talked about, the other declaration in this post was, take it all from me. You've given me the faith. That's a muscle spiritually that has to be worked on, practiced, and continually strengthened, because fear will be present at any level, because you've never been here before. I was just on a podcast interview this morning, and we were talking all about how fear doesn't go away. You just learn to listen to faith louder and first. So it can play in the background, but it will no longer override your nervous system, and it will no longer dictate the way that you behave and make decisions and act from when you continue to strengthen your faith muscle. And your faith muscle supports what? Your vision, even when it's delusional and it's just from a meditation. That is not yet your current reality with your eyes that you can see, but you can see it with your mind's eye. That is also truth.
This message sponsored by Po Hung Yu.
Have you ever thought about microdosing before? Maybe you've even seen documentaries like Fantastic Fungi or How to Change Your Mind on Netflix. By the way, I have a funny story about the Fantastic Fungi, but you're going to have to ask me offline. Or maybe you've heard about the extensive research happening in the best universities and the evidence showing how mushrooms are game-changing for those with anxiety, depression, ADHD, and even PTSD. So many female leaders and moms have jumped on the microdosing bandwagon to help them better manage modern-day stress. I want to introduce you to our new brand partner, Po-Hung Yu. She's a self-mastery mentor, microdosing guide, and a former acupuncturist. And as a successful woman like me, like you, imagine a life where your brain and your nervous system can just relax. That's exactly what happens when you microdose and you're guided by an experienced facilitator. So you can actually be present and enjoy your life minus the anxiety, overwhelm, and stress. The best part is you don't feel high, there's no psychedelic effect, and no one will know. You can still work, be with your kids, drive, exercise, and live your normal day-to-day life. But you'll still receive all of the amazing benefits of mushrooms, like increasing neuroplasticity, flow, creativity, focus, and even your connection and intimacy with your loved ones. Not only will you receive a 15-minute consult where Po will tell you exactly how this process works so you can decide if it's a fit for you, but you'll also get a bonus of $500 off and a complimentary root cause assessment call worth over $800 when you decide to work with Po. Click the link below in the show notes to get started today. And then the last one, it was take it all from me. You've given me the experience. There was a moment I was on a retreat. I was leading a retreat, and we had a labyrinth, a sunrise labyrinth meditation, which, by the way, if you've never done this before, a labyrinth meditation is like so special. And what's really cool is that every labyrinth is different. And even if you've done that labyrinth before, every experience with that labyrinth is different. It's kind of like, I liken it to like a yoga class, even though it was much more profound. You know, every yoga class is different than the last one. You don't stop going because you're like, oh, I've done a yoga class. No, I go to yoga, and every yoga class thereafter is very different. And so the labyrinth is amazing. And this particular labyrinth was here in Georgia. It was a retreat I was running in fall of 2022, a couple years ago. And I was going through a very deep, dark, heartbreaking season, really, of grieving and stripping away and unbecoming. And I asked God the question, I think I asked, just show me what I need to know. And so I step into the labyrinth along with, my clients. And I had hired a facilitator for this part. And so I hop in. And I'm watching everybody on their own path because, there's multiple ways you drop into a labyrinth. And I chose the one that was directly to the right. So I'm walking and I see one of my clients in the middle. Literally after 5 minutes, it feels like. I'm like, wow, she's there fast. But I'm also trying to be very present. And I'm trying to be very present while I'm in this walking meditation, like the leaves, the smell. I'm not trying to force my way to the center, even though the ultimate goal in my brain was to get to the center. The facilitator said, don't worry, we all arrive in the middle. That's inevitable. So I'm watching everyone arrive in the middle. And even at some points I get close to the center and then the path pulls me away. I'm like, what the hell? I was so frustrated. And it was such an interesting exercise. So finally, I get into the middle and I'm like, I feel like I walked the whole thing. And I was nearly in tears. I was so frustrated because it just felt hard. And I was already in a hard season. So it felt like, why is everything so hard? Why is everything so long? Why does it take me so long to do things? And it feels like my lessons are longer and harder than everyone else. And I'm constantly swimming upstream. Why? And I get to the middle and the teacher says to me, the facilitator goes, you must be a really good teacher. And I said, why is that? And she said, because you've had to walk all the paths so that you can show other people how to walk them with you. And I just lost it because I'm like, yes, that's exactly what this feels like. And it is. And so that was this nudge, this God wink that was, I've given you all the lessons. Not to say all my learning and all my healing is done. I don't ever think that we're done with that. But for where I needed to go to pick up my foot and put it in front of the next one, I just thought, man, that moment, I go back to that moment in time and I'm like, yeah, it doesn't have to continue to be so hard. What if you've learned everything you've needed to in order to step into your next level shift. So this was the declaration I made in the car on the way to the gym. And let me tell you, shit rearranged so flippin' fast, it's like my head may as well have whipped around. I knew that I was going to be making some adjustments in my team. Before I could let one of my team members go, she resigned. I was like, oh my gosh. Then it was just wild. Then I went on a retreat, a leadership retreat with my mentor in the Bahamas, and I brought everything to that retreat. And I just said, if I need to burn it down, if whatever I'm doing, if anything in this product suite or in the way I'm serving people isn't working, take it. Just take it all. I burn it down. Let's just, step into what I'm truly supposed to be doing here. And I'm sitting here 6 weeks later, and I feel like I have been rebirthed, and there is a brand new everything on the horizon. And you know what happened as a result of that shift? We had the most magical champagne club dinner. I feel like I say that every time, but every room is seriously amazing. What was crazy is this champagne club, I had never met any of them in person, except for I think my creative director / client, Chelsea Patricia, who you've seen like doing all of our footage, and our sponsor, which is kind of important, right? That she meet me. But everybody else I had never met in real life. One of them I had been coaching for 3 years. Of course, Zoom is real life, but I had never, met her in person. She had never hugged me. There was just something really magical about that. And so I thought, what an interesting, special experience. And it was a more intimate room. And I know exactly why it was intimate, because of a moment we shared at the table at dinner. It was amazing. This month alone will be our highest revenue, cash and contracted month of the entire year. And we closed 4 retreat spots. So we are nearly half sold out for the Made for More retreat. If that's something you're interested in, by the way, you need to shoot me a DM and let me know. Just shoot me a little palm tree emoji. I'll know exactly what you need, which is the password to our private retreat. We're going to Grenada next October for 6 days, 5 nights. And it's for a very unique female founder, investor, or executive. So we have signed more clients. I've just been saying no to things, but it's like I know without a shadow of a doubt exactly where I'm headed. It's almost like I can see the horizon for the first time maybe ever. Like I've always had a good sense of where I'm going, but I can really see the big picture and feel it in a way that I never have before. So don't be afraid to declare divinely everything that you want, but just saddle up when everything starts to rearrange, because it will require a falling away and an unbecoming process. Do not lose your footing during that time. Feel it in your body. Know that you made the right choice whatever you've declared, whatever you've decided, and know that that's part of the process, so that you are, because this is you actually getting everything that you want. Everything that you want. So I don't know if this is a reminder for you, for whoever needs this message. I don't know if this is a deepening into remembering something you forgot, or if you're in a dark season, if you're in a hard season, if you needed reassurance around that. Trust yourself. Know that that desire is on your heart for a reason. Declare it, mean it, and then anchor in. That is the process. That's how it happens. Especially if you work in anything energetic or spiritual, there is a lot happening without our eyes seeing it. So I don't know who that's for, but it's coming through me loud and clear. And I'm excited for you. If that's you, if you're in that season of up-leveling, of transformation, of growth and expansion, I'm excited for you. It's scary, but what a fun, cool place to be, truly. So I can't wait to see what you create in this next season and how that all comes together and how fast it flows in. All right, well, I'll see you on the next episode. Until next time, keep it first class.
Thanks for tuning in to Literally First Class. If today's episode inspired you, hit subscribe and leave a review. It helps us reach even more incredible women like you who are ready to level up, lead with impact, and make first-class moves. I'll see you in the next episode, but until then, keep dreaming big and taking bold action.